Hey everybody. So last night I just finished my December stories for 2020 and I'm pretty excited about it. I had so much fun doing it. I'm a little sad that it's over, but it'll give me some more time to do some Bible journaling and other things. So this year I took a different approach. Normally I'm like doing every day what we did and cramming at the end of the week to get a week's worth done. But with this album, I did more of a story at a time, and they're stories, not like the events of the day. Because of COVID, we're not going a lot of places and doing, the normal Christmas things like sleigh rides and what have you. So it's a little bit different, but I tried to tell a little story for the 25 days before Christmas. So some of them are what we did, but others aren't. So you'll see as we go. So here I created the date page with I made myself a cut file and then added the Felicity Jane paper behind it, and I love how that turned out. And here I talked about my reason why and how I'm doing things differently, and how this album is going to be more about our home and the stories of what we love about being home, since we're here a lot more right now. So I started also with this title page. I found some shapes online and created a cut file of little houses and used them throughout the album, as my theme is home for this book. And I actually really enjoyed this theme and telling stories of our home. Levi's beside me, so you'll hear him pipe in now and then. So I found these awesome stickers in Tim Holmes Occasions, I think. Tiny sticker or word phrases sticker book. So it says, "I'll be home for Christmas. Out of limitations comes creativity." So kind of like this album, I've had to take it a little different twist on it. So I started with a calendar. It's full of like the actual random things that we did when I subbed, and when we went to the dentist and things like that, as well as like the bigger dates of Christmas and New Year's Eve and stuff like that. But I always like having just a record of what we did during the month. Sometimes I have to look back at it just to know when we were, last at the dentist or whatever. So I keep one of those. So I also cut out the word December, and I had these stickers, I believe are Heidi Swap from a while back. And the puffy stickers are Felicity Jane. So here's another cut file that I created with some images I found online, and I just created the cut on half of each tree and folded them back and put Felicity Jane paper behind them. And I love that. I believe this is a Stampin' Up! Die right here. And then here starts my story. So story number 1, I'll just give, like, rather than reading everything, I'll just give quick recaps of what the stories are verbally here. So story number 1 is how in Sylvan Lake there are man-made ice rinks all over town. Not only do we have 2 on the lake, but they're literally in every little park, and even our school has one. So we're enjoying skating as a family a lot more. Levi's not quite ready for that, so he's tobogganing while we skate often, or we're pushing him around on the ice. So that's story number 1. We love all the rinks here. Story number 2 is Elfie and how I wanted to quarantine him, but the kids wouldn't let me, so I made him a mask so he could come out and play. I stitched on this number 2, which is actually the insert for this here. When I cut this out, I saved it and put it here. And then a Felicity Jane star. I think this is Felicity Jane paper over here. I made the star out of some vellum and put the little Felicity Jane sequence in there. I love that. Another cut file I created with a shape I found online. And here we have the story of our advent calendars. This year the kids all got the same Lego one. And this is the little story of Levi, how he was so excited to open the next days that he went and put his pajamas on right after breakfast, thinking it would come quicker. So you want to see? There, see? That's you holding your calendar in your reindeer outfit. Cute, hey? Okay, so that's day number 1 of December, technically for us, but it's actually my 3rd story. So you'll see not everything matches up with the date, which is kind of nice and takes that limitation off, because sometimes even there'll be a day where multiple stories happen and you feel like you have to cram it all into one day, whereas this was nice. It was like one simple story for each number. So number 4 is actually both pages, and it's when we went out quadding, which is on the next page. But I got a permit and cut down 3 trees. So you'll see here, there's one for each of the boys. They each got their own little Christmas tree, and we brought them home. Titus cut his own down. He thought that was pretty special. And here's the one I turned into a 12 days of Christmas countdown with Alfie, leaving them treats and messages each day of the 12 days of Christmas. So there they are in the cart with the trees. Story number 5 is about the simple joys in our home. So things like the twinkling lights and having Christmas spirit diffusing and a hot cocoa bar, which we are really loving, especially Isaiah, which I have a picture of him in here. So here's a picture of me with another special treat from a friend, Starbucks treat, and here's Isaiah with his favorite drink with marshmallows and cinnamon on top. So enjoying that. So those just go in this pocket. This is all Felicity Jane paper. And I used the Felicity Jane stencil here to put some stars on this pocket, just to make some more interest and some texture. On the back side is the story about us quadding for the first time, and how the boys enjoyed getting pulled behind a sleigh on the back, a sled on the back, and how they got to even drive, and it was just so much fun. There were almost tears when we had to go because they didn't want to leave. So that's story number 6. Number 7 is about DIYs, which I always do at Christmas time, and I put here that I love the best win. I love how this joy sign turned out. It's up on my wall in my dining room. But soap I'm not going to do again because I wasted so much essential oil and didn't get quite the smell that I was hoping for still. But of course over here I've got a little flip up because I have another, well, I wanted to tell the story, and then I have another little story, let me pull it down, of Titus DIYing and making his own little gnomes, and one is a Christmas gift for his dad, so he was pretty proud of that and loved them a lot. So number 8, I again cut it with my silhouette, and I thought that it was symmetrical, so I just cut it again in another color for the back, but it wasn't perfectly symmetrical, so you see a little bit of the outline of the other side, which I don't love, but I didn't want to cut it again, so I left it. These are Felicity Jane. Actually, this card here is Heidi Swap for my stash. Felicity Jane die cuts and some Christmas stickers I have in my stash. So here's the flip side. This is a die a friend of mine let me borrow. I don't know who it's by, but there's a Felicity Jane bow. And here is our Christmas card photos. My brother-in-law took them. We are so lucky to have a photographer in the family. I love how they turned out this year, and didn't go with the traditional red. We went with yellow, which is a favorite color of ours right now. And this Heidi Swap again. Everyone is, or reasons this makes me happy. Everyone is smiling. That's a miracle. Location was awesome. We did some by a rail bridge, which was really cool. And then we found a tree that still had snow on the branches. And we're all coordinating, which makes it special. I threw some oranges on this wreath and the joy in it. They're not even attached. I had no time, and I just shoved them in the wreath. So this one is kind of falling out, and they're literally just loosely shoved in there. They kept falling out and I kept having to put them back, but it was kind of fun to tie in with the outfit, I thought. So that's story 8. Yes, Levi.
This is the easy side.
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
You did so fast. Did it so fast?
No, it was easy.
It was easy. Okay, so number 9 is this story here, and I have Dear Santa from a previous Felicity Jane kit. It was left over. Dear Santa, help us remember that Jesus is the reason for the season. My friend Tara Lynn gave me that great idea. I love it because we didn't go see Santas this year or anything like that. So inside is the story of how I've made the 12 days of Christmas countdown. It's actually 12 days of kindness, and each day Alfie leaves the kids a challenge of something that they can do out of kindness for someone else. And And he leaves them a little treat or clue as to what he's up to for the day. So here he says the floor is lava and he's hanging onto the wall, which is kind of funny. The kids really enjoyed him this year and were quite upset when he had to go back to the North Pole. So we'll cover that up. Oh, and this is Alfie reading the story of the baby of Jesus, which I thought was the perfect one to put with this nativity, which he actually left them this nativity that morning. And I set it up in this thing here that I had. So over here in the gingerbread house are the kindness activities. So plan a game of FaceTime or Zoom with a friend, make a note of thanks to the neighbors for their Christmas lights, make cookies for a neighbor. Here's an example of what one of those little gingerbread houses looked like. It was a mix of 3D ones and these paper bag ones. Write a list of gratitudes to Jesus. We made a big sign to thank our garbage men. Things like that. Make gifts for your Sabbath school teacher. Here he is. This one I got a kick out of. His note is this how you do the floss? And he's tangled up in floss. And then here he is feeding the dinosaurs marshmallows. So anyway, the kids really enjoyed him this year. Let me put that back in there. This added a bit of bulk, which is a problem that I have with this December album. It barely closes. Anyways, this number 10 is about my Cocoa kit, which made Christmas special for me. I don't know, somehow having this kit it's what makes Christmas for me, being able to do this. I love it so much. It's like my special little thing. So I wasn't going to get it, but this is a story about how Megan offered to split one with me, and it just made my season. And then here's a little story about how my happy place is right here with all this mess on my desk. A little journaling about that. We've got another one of those little houses in the Felicity Jane sequence. This tray is just delicious, isn't it? I love that. All right, over here we have Levi, who's loving the Legos. Hey, you love Legos? There you are. Smiling for the camera. So I put an overlay of vellum on our sorted Lego trays that are downstairs, or drawers actually, and talked about how much Levi is enjoying Legos lately. 12 is the games that we've been playing a lot more of because of COVID. We're home a lot, so we're just playing family games. It's so fun. The kids are old enough now that we really enjoy it. And then here's Titus doing science experiments because, of course, we have more time for that kind of thing too. So that's pretty special. Number 14 is when we watched the Santa parade, and Levi saw a real Santa for the first time, and now you can't be told he's not real, huh? Right? And here is 15. It's just a picture of some cookies my sister made us, which we loved. They were so yummy, hey? So fun. And I love the Felicity Jane wreath in there. This is an old Felicity Jane paper and some wood numbers that I have in my stash, probably from the dollar store, to be honest. Levi, your head is getting in the camera there, kiddo. So here's a little story to Simply Blessed, and I have a picture of all the canned goods we've been given over this season. I'm telling you, like, I love yellow pickled beans. Like, it's my new favorite thing. And we've had them given to us by a few different people. We've got carrots and salsa and beets, and here's a charcuterie board I made with some of them, and a little note about how we appreciate getting canned goods because I am not a canner. So it's pretty special. Get in there, please. You want to turn the page? Okay, so this is just a divider. And over here we have the story of how, because we can't visit my family, you are apparently allowed to do recreational things together. So we went skating together on the lake behind their house, and then got in our cars and played travel bingo with Christmas pictures. So we went around looking for Christmas lights, and there was pictures for what we were finding. There's us FaceTiming from our car to their car, so it felt like we were together. So that was pretty fun and special. These are just circles I cut out of Felicity Jane paper and I stitched around one. This might be from a different kit, so much to be grateful for, but I think it's a Felicity Jane one, maybe from a past kit. I just punched out from one of the cards. 18s on the back side. I did the same thing except stitched across the whole thing this time. And here I have the story about how I've found these adorable vintage ornaments, which I am now collecting. I've collected 3 this season while thrifting. And you stick the light, the tree light, up into a hole in the bottom and they light up. I don't know how I didn't know about these. They are so cute. And they're on our tree now. They just light up from the inside. It's adorable. So that's the only ornament story I told this year. And I do plan to keep my eye out for them and collect them. On this side, I found this idea from one of Felicity Jane's, actually, one of her designers did this. I don't remember her name, but I copied it. And I put the sequins in behind vellum, and it's the shape right over top of the tree. And it talks about how much we appreciate the glow of our tree, and it just makes the home warm and cozy and even worship's more special and that kind of thing. And I love that. I love how that turned out. So, and it's right over the tree. So day 19, or day 19, story 19 is our tree. And I just have a tree on this side to go with it, with bits and baubles of things. These are actually recollections, enamel dots I found. Full-size picture of our tree. Also talked about how we don't normally see all the gifts piled under our tree because we're never home on Christmas when they all kind of come out. So that was kind of fun to have that at our house. Number 20 is about gift lists. So there's the wrapping paper I used to wrap. It's missing the Paw Patrol one of Levi's wrapping paper, isn't it? I didn't have it at the moment when I did that, but he had his own Paw Patrol paper. Here's the list. It's much smaller than normal because of COVID and having just moved. There were less people on my list, but and not being with family changed it too. Here's what we gave our neighbors, yeah, and some church members, some candied almonds in these cute little boxes. There was orange almonds and cinnamon almonds. So that went with that. Over here we've got Christmas Day coming. So I put the divider here to show that the rest of the stories are from Christmas Day. And this is just to reduce the busyness behind that word. So 21, I have another tree with sequins. I love that I was able to repeat most everything at least twice to make the album feel so cohesive. I love it. 21 was how everyone slept in the same bed. I actually have the same pajamas on, but I had a sweater over it, which is too bad. I wish I didn't because we were all matching.
What does that mean?
And how I didn't stay the whole night in the bed, but Tyler did, and he got woken up every hour. Kids were so excited. They started at 2 a.m. waking up and asking if it was time for presents. 22 is kind of hard to see. I did vellum 2s, but I like it, so I'm leaving it, even though you can hardly see them. And then a little story about how they all got a Lego set and enjoyed building them Christmas morning.
No, second one. Do that one.
Do this one? This is Titus building his new Lego set. Number 23 is the gingerbread houses that we made on Christmas Day. I made the dough a couple days earlier, but and the pieces the next day, and then we decorated them on Christmas. This also added a lot of bulk, and I a little bit regret not just getting white paper out, but I was lazy and I already had these tags. So I should have done it on white tags, but I didn't. Anyways, these are our gingerbread houses. Isaiah made one for Levi. Titus made one out of candies. Isaiah made a big one, and I'm not super happy with them. I'm not going to do it again. I need cookie cutters. The shapes went all wonky in the oven, and I don't know. Maybe I'll try a different recipe and try and find some cookie cutters. I really wanted... My sister did a better job of these little houses that sit on the edge of your cup. They're so cute. Anyway, that was our gingerbread story for Christmas Day. Goes in this envelope. These are actually the digital files of Felicity Jane from a couple years ago, and they're a little bigger than the size they came in the kit, but they turned out really cute on here. I love that with the little house. So 23, we're almost done. Can you believe it? 24 is the gifts. The gifts. There's a little pocket here that shows the kids unwrapping and the pile of mess. And then they each got gifted a mask of their favorite kinds of things. Levi wants to look at it. And then each of these pockets shows their favorite gift. So Isaiah's favorite gift was his Oilers jersey. He was so thrilled with it. He has pretty much been wearing it ever since. Titus got a tiger. He was also incredibly excited about getting that. He's wanted that for a couple of years,
I
actually.
didn't know you could find a print with the guy in the car.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't know you could
And
find
Levi, this was the one thing he asked for his birthday, but they were sold out, and I couldn't get my hands on one, and finally did just in time for Christmas. So that's Rex from Paw Patrol, the new pup. You want to see it? You want to see it? So they were pretty excited about that. I'll pop this back in here. And then the very last page is where I will collect photo cards that I have been given for Christmas, even though my album's probably going to be too fat for them. Our 2 cards are in here. I did 2 different ones. Oh, honey, it goes over here.
the one.
Yeah, the red one is yours. Okay. There we go. On the back side, I put the little houses one last time. I just think that that turned out awesome because it hides the glue from the envelopes, and I didn't really know what I was going to do. I couldn't quite fit a stapler to staple them in place, so this is perfect. This, of course, doesn't have a backside, but I'm okay with it. Whatever. So here's the 2 cards that we gave out. This one and this one with the multi-pictures. Isn't that funny how different the yellows are? They're both done by Costco, but very different color matching. Anyways, I'm going to put these back in. That's the end of my December daily. I hope you enjoyed getting a peek at our December. It was a wonderful time, even though we were not allowed to be with family. We enjoyed each other and had so much fun. And I especially had fun creating this. So thanks for watching. See you next time.